Hey folks, it's Nathaniel Stinnett from the Environmental Voter Project, and today we are talking about climate voters in Arizona. We've got a great mini briefing for you with tons of data, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start just by briefly telling you a little bit about our work at the Environmental Voter Project. We are a nonpartisan nonprofit that is laser focused on identifying environmentalists who don't vote and then turning them into better voters. And what that looks like is this four-step process here. First, we work with data scientists to identify climate first registered voters on voter files around the country. So these are people who are really likely to list climate as their top priority, yet they are unlikely to vote. Second, we mobilize them. We work with thousands of volunteers around the country to canvass and call and postcard these non-voting environmentalists. And then we also send mail and digital ads to them, all informed by cutting-edge behavioral science and focused on just one thing, and that is turning these non-voters into new voters and then into consistent voters. Third, we then reinforce those habits. We don't just work in the big, sexy federal elections. We work in state and local and special and primary elections. Anytime there's an election, we use it as an opportunity to talk to these non-voting environmentalists to turn them into better voters. Because what our ultimate goal is to change the electorate. We know that nothing motivates a politician more than the prospect of winning or losing an election. And so if we want politicians to lead on climate, we need to build an unstoppable army of climate voters that start showing up in every election. That's how we'll get the change that we need. Now, we work in these 19 states that you see here. In 2024, we are targeting 4.8 million of these unlikely to vote super environmentalists. And today, we are going to dive into our Arizona data in a very, very quick mini briefing. Here's what we've identified in Arizona. We have individually tagged almost 230,000 of these already registered to vote super environmentalists who are unlikely to vote this fall in the presidential election. So you see that number up there, that 229,311. All right, what's the context for that number? What does 229,000 mean in a state like Arizona? Well, you'll see only 3.4 million ballots were cast back in the last presidential election in Arizona. So 229,000 is a big deal. And remember, that's just the number of already registered super environmentalists who are unlikely to vote this fall. And then, of course, the second important bit of context, only 2,457 votes were the margin deciding who won Arizona in 2020. That's how many votes Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by. 10,457. Yet we at the Environmental Voter Project have identified almost 230,000 of these low propensity environment first voters who ain't going to show up unless they get a nudge, unless they have a sophisticated, robust campaign mobilizing them. All right. Remember, I told you that we care about habit reinforcement. A lot of the reason we focus on every election is because that's the best way to build good voting habits. And although many people are currently thinking about the big presidential election coming up in November, what we know is the best way to make a good voter in November is to talk to them now. And you'll see Tempe has a special municipal election on March 12th. The presidential primary in Arizona is on March 19th. The state primary is on August 6th. What all of these dates represent are golden opportunities to talk to these low propensity voters in a largely static free environment. There aren't going to be billions of dollars of TV ads competing for space in their brain. And so it's really important that our volunteers call them and canvass them and postcard them to turn them into better voters for this fall. Because ultimately, look at this. Got a lot of important races going on in Arizona this fall. It is going to be a deciding state in the presidential election. It is going to be one of the most important and competitive US Senate races. 2 congressional districts in Arizona are likely to be competitive, the 1st and the 6th. And both the state Senate and the state House of Representatives in Arizona is super close. So what does that mean? That means that any single individual voter in Arizona, when they go to pull a ballot this November, they are at least going to be voting on 4 important competitive elections on that ballot, and maybe 5 or more. Arizona is crucially important. What's the number in particular that I want you to remember? It's the fact that these 229,000 low propensity environmental voters we're targeting at EVP is such a large number that it's 21.9 times bigger than the margin of victory in the 2020 presidential election. That's how important this population of low propensity environmental voters is in Arizona. Finally, I just want to say, this is what that population looks like. If you look at the bottom here, this is the demographic breakdown of all registered voters in Arizona. So you'll see 9% of registered voters in Arizona are 18 to 24 years old. This next line up here, LPEVs, that stands for this, low propensity environmental voters. And so one thing you'll notice right off the bat in the demographics of this population of low propensity environmental voters is that they're disproportionately young. Probably not a surprise, right? Probably not a surprise. What we also see is looking at the sex demographics. It's important to note that voter files track sex data, not gender data. So this is sex data. The sex demographics, there's a little bit of a gender gap in the underlying population of registered voters that we don't see in our targets, but that's largely because there's so much sex data that's missing from the voter file. Look at that huge unknown number, 23%. And then finally, look at the racial makeup here. Over 71% of registered voters in Arizona are white. But these low propensity environmental voters who we're targeting at the Environmental Voter Project, only 53% of them are white in Arizona. So this population here is disproportionately people of color. You'll see they're almost twice as likely to be Black. They're more than 9 percentage points more likely to be Hispanic, and they're over 3 times as likely to be Native American. So these low propensity environmental voters in Arizona are disproportionately young and disproportionately people of color. And so finally, I'll just say, if you want to get involved, if you care about voter turnout in Arizona, and you care deeply about building the political power of the climate and environmental movements, here are your opportunities. First off, volunteer with us at the Environmental Voter Project. Remember, there are elections in March, there are elections in August, there are obviously elections in November. We're going to be working year-round, calling these 229,000 voters. We're probably going to be postcarding them. You'll see Tucson happens to be one of our 3 canvassing hubs in the country. So we're going to be knocking on doors in Tucson as well. And we need your help. So join us. You can go to environmentalvoter.org/get-involved, and we'll put that link in the notes. The second thing you can do, donate to support our work. Make a one-time donation. There's no limit. It can be as big as you want. Or you can make a monthly donation, spread it out. That's really good for us because remember, we work year-round. So having a year-round funding stream is enormously helpful. 3, do you want to host an event? Do you want me to give all this wonderful data to your friends? I would love to join you on Zoom and talk about the Environmental Voter Project to your friends and colleagues, and you see the information there. And then finally, 4, spread the word. Please share this video. Please subscribe to our channel so you get notifications of new mini briefings. And finally, thank you for caring about the climate crisis and the democracy crisis and wanting to make a difference, not just in Arizona, but across the entire country this year. Take care.